Hey everybody, and welcome. So this is for Project Station and how much water ability performance is going to go down on Project Station. And you're probably thinking, oh, you're going to need a lot of water. And yes, water is essential for a person. You can go 3 days or less, depending on how on heat temperature ability is, on living ability for without water. Food wise though, you can go for longer. I think it's like what 2 weeks plus. You can go without food. But water, on the other hand, can only go about for 3 days without this bad boy right here in front of your face. It's a very limited amount of time you can go without water. But you're thinking that my next words are going to really confuse you. Like, why would you want to go with a small tank if you need water, the most essential ability? Thing is, I can get water from any source. Stuff in my mouth. And that's pretty easy. A portable water filter that has a 3-stage system at the very least, which is ultrafine, carbon, and a PP filter, cotton filter system. That's the least filtration system you want to look at. Those 3 stages. PP cotton filter will trap basically all the muddy, murky crap and jazz like that. And the carbon filter will basically make it so it absorbs all the bad taste and odors and junk like that. The ultrafine filter will basically trap a lot of all the bugs and icky junk you don't want to really get in your system, parasites and crap like that. But you're thinking, oh well, that's only 0.01 microns. That's not going to trap like other viruses and such that go down even more microns. Yeah, that's true. But that comes into another weapon. My UV mountaintop water purification system. As long as I can get the water as clean as this, which basically is what the filter does first, then my mountaintop basically destroy anything that it basically comes in the ray of sunshine for the UV purification. And that's what that does. And it just beams a ray of sunshine onto the water like this and just goes, and anything still living is dead or broken down and completely destroyed. And I can just go like that. So how much water am I going to actually have for my water tank? Well, due to the fact that I want to also keep lightweight to the system, which is already going to be quite heavy for not only the system itself, for the battery packs, for the accessory power, for the solar array system, it's going to be quite hefty. And I mean, sure, I'm lacking on weight for putting in a lot more water, but I think 3 gallons is pretty much enough. Because 3 gallons might not seem like that much, but it's actually 15 of these bad boys right here with the little sports drinking top. And I think these are, what, 20? I think that these are like 29 ounces or 800 milliliters or 750 milliliters of water. So 15 of these water balls, 3 gallons. That's pretty okay. And since I can get water from any source, that's literally just boom. And then I make my move, boom, like that. If you're talking about washing your hands and that jazz like that, that's more a stationary area than really on the go. Like if I'm riding on the go to a location just like that, then mainly drinking water is the ideal thing. But if I'm at a stationary point, then obviously I'll be able to fill up the tank system and then wash my hands, use it for cook and clean, jazz like that. But I think 3 gallons is roughly a decent amount. And it'll also keep the weights pretty decent because for a 5 gallon jug itself is going to weigh around almost 100, not 100, almost 45 pounds for 5 gallons. So 3 gallons, well, 2.5 gallons, which is basically one of the Arrowhead jug ones you can get from Walmart for like $5. Those are around like 20 to 25 pounds. So roughly about 30 pounds or so forth for 3 gallons, or 25 to 30 pounds. They're quite weighty. So, as much as I'm limiting the amount of water tank system ability, it also has the fashion ability to recover that water like that. Because with the UV, the filtration and purification system combo, I just basically filter it, get the water from the source, from a lake or such, pour into a bucket, then filter from the bucket to my water bottle, then my water bottle 2 times, pour into the tank, and then do it again. Simple as that. And yes, I do have a, I think 11-liter portable folding bucket that I can drag with me. And then I just use that, throw into my water tank. And there you go. I got potable water from basically a lake, a pond, a mud pit, whatever kind of source, whatever. I can even literally get it from a kid's playground drinking fountain. I know everybody's gonna be like, huh, I would never do that. Ugh. You're disgusting, those are. And yes, it actually makes sense. Even though the city does use chlorine to clarify the entire performance of the water, what comes out of those hoses is actually very disgusting. It's not the water itself that's coming out that's being disgusted. It's actually what's on top of the actual piece that the water comes out that actually is really disgusting. Because everybody kind of grums the little hole up with crap and junk and goes and jazz like that. And it's really disgusting. It makes sense. Everybody doesn't want to drink fountain water. So it does make sense that nobody wants that crap. But because of the UV purification, and because the water is basically already clean from the city water, that's what the UV cup does. Just turn that on, kills anything. Anything that's still living, from people, rubbing their butt cracks on the hose, on the little spout, spigot, whatever, completely gone. Or I can just basically kill it with refiltrationing it from my filter, and then doing it like that as normal. But I really don't need to, in a sense, if I wanted to. But yeah, I can do that. I can get it from a city, town, drinking fountain, anywhere, any source, anywhere. So that's the cool thing about getting potable water from any source ability whatsoever, with an easy 2-stage filtration system. Filter and UV. And it's the fastest method out there. Now, of course, filling up a 2-gallon system is not going to be super fast, but it's going to be more efficient than having to wait 30 to 4 hours of using a tablet clean system. Because even with those, you're still waiting for, even if you fill like a 5-gallon jug or something like that, or a 3-gallon jug, you're still going to wait like 30 to 5 hours to be able to even drink it. But with my method, then I'm basically able to drink the first water bottle system that I get. And sure, it's not going to be close to Arrowhead or something like that. I would actually love to get a reverse osmosis system, and that actually make it pretty decent. But the smallest one I've seen is $250, and it's still a big unit. And it's cool. It's actually a cool battery operated reverse osmosis unit. I don't know. Maybe I'll think about it in the future, but it is actually a pretty decent looking unit. And if you don't know anything about reverse osmosis, it's basically as close as possible that you would get to this company's water. This is Arrowhead. This is as close as you would get to reverse osmosis water taste quality wise. They do reverse osmosis, UV, and supposedly reverse osmosis again, which is kind of redundant. Either way. And then they put in a little enrichment back into the water with some minerals to make it taste better and whatnot. And then you just drink it. And it tastes pretty good. Reverse osmosis will actually taste pretty much almost identical to Arrowhead water. But the difference is that it'll actually taste very silky because minerals are salt-based systems. But reverse osmosis takes away salt. So it's going to take away the good minerals and everything like that. That's why you don't commonly drink it normally. Because reverse osmosis doesn't give anything back. It gives you liquid, but basically doesn't give any energizing specialty to your body. And that's mainly why you drink water, is because all those minerals that are in the water help rejuvenate the battery and go, ooh. I mean, not battery, your body, and go, ooh. Like that. But drinking reverse osmosis, sure, you're going to get liquid, but it's not going to stick to your body. It's just going to go whoop, like a little hose. If you literally have a hose from your mouth to the other guy, then that's basically how reverse osmosis water is going to just flow through your body. It's not going to stick. It's just going to be like whoop, in and out. But having the minerals inside the water actually allow it for the water molecules to actually stick to the body, and using the minerals, it actually helps the body rejuvenate itself. But for the taste ability of what reverse osmosis tastes like, it's like tasting silk in a sense. It literally doesn't have any kind of actual taste. It just feels like it's nothing. And I have tasted reverse osmosis myself. I actually bought a little portable hand pump one, and when you do it right, it doesn't taste like it's metallic taste and like such forth. It tastes pretty decent. And that's how I can compare it to tasting pretty much close to Arrowhead. But Arrowhead has a little bit of taste because of the salt-based minerals system it has. And it's pretty decent. So yes. And you're probably thinking, well, why don't you just use the reverse osmosis pump? The problem is, to get about 4 of these bad boys of water, it's going to take me over an hour to go when I can basically just go click click, and within 15 minutes I have 3 gallons of water. Yeah. That's just filtering. I still have to take 3 minutes to do 2 cycles of UV purification, but still. Yeah, so it's roughly, but still. Faster method, and there's not much bugs that I really need to watch out for that are gonna really penetrate the small 0.01 micron filtration system. So yeah, and UV will kill anything that is theoretically still living and past that filter system. But it also keeps the good minerals inside of it, so I don't have to worry about all those other minerals getting washed out, compared to reverse osmosis that I have to try and re-energize with it. So, yeah. So the water tank might be small, but the recovery is much more massively huge for the entire system. So I can recover water in a snap faster than anywhere. Because if I stop at a campsite, I can use the hose. If I stop at a lakeside, I can use their water right from the edge. If I stop at a random stream, literally right there. Any city, any area, any sector, boom. Any water source is basically claimed. Well, not really claimed by me, but you know what I mean. I can literally utilize it. So that's the cool thing of having fast water recovery. Even though I'm going to go for a small tank, it's pretty reasonable that I really don't need the large water tank if I'm at a water station, because the recovery rate is super fast and efficient. And then when I'm on the go, having at least 15 of these bad boys for drinking water, that's pretty much a decent power ability. And that's if I'm in a boony zone area, like, you know, where I don't have any water sources next to me. But if I'm literally like traveling near cities or forests and jazz like that, I can stop basically anywhere. So a small water tank might seem a little redundant, but again, the recovery is fast as means. And you're probably thinking, well, what about taking a shower? What about, washing your hands, washing your cookware and such? And well, washing the cookware is obviously, yeah, it's going to take a little bit of water from the potable water ability, but the recovery method is quite fast. And as for taking a shower, that would be in its own tank that I'll recover from the base system itself, and I'll be able to put that into a pretty decent blacked out water tank. I'll have 2 water tanks of the same 3-gallon systems, but one is going to be completely empty for when traveling, because I don't want it to weigh down the system. This will be potable water. This will be shower water. Shower water will go in from potable. I'll recover potable again, and then I'll put that into a bucket, mix the 2 into a bucket, and then I'll have a decent warm shower. And then for showering ability, I have a portable utilization power system that I'll just go boop, hang it, take a little shower, boop, wash my body, get the hard stuff, and done like that. Probably don't need a full 5 gallons or something like that, but still, it's there. So, yeah. Fast recovery, small performance, but massive ability. So I'll see you guys later. Peace out.